guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Dan.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Board Game Rundown, and today we're going to talk about games we played, news, crowdfunding, Kickstarters, and a top 5 that is a dedication
Special
to
request.
one of our, well, one
Gaming
of
friends.
one of Bob and I's gaming friends. A mutual friend is moving away, so we probably won't see him for a while, and we already don't see him enough as it is. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So how about games we played, boys?
Games we played.
So, Bob, you got a big one in over the weekend.
I did. I got according to my top 30, my favorite game to the table.
Ooh.
Anachrony was your number one?
Yeah, Anachrony
I didn't remember that was your number
one game.
I can't believe that beat Axis and Allies.
I was surprised, too. In all honesty. But, they bring those things up. It's like, which would you rather play? And, yeah, that's what came up as number one.
I mean,
so
it's such a good game.
It's so good. And I got to teach Dan, and I taught Spencer. Unfortunately, he's not here today. He's still stuck in an anomaly.
He said while he was playing it, he loved it.
What's really funny, though, is that if for a second you're like, and we play with Spencer, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that's what the period was. That's nice about talking.
And he's not here today.
And he's not here today. But no, yeah, so it's a worker placement game. Mainly, but it does have time travel where you're playing through different eras, and then you can request resources from the future, and then as you move into the future, you have to send those resources back, or you have to keep rolling an anomaly die, and if you get too many anomalies, then you get a paradox, and those are penalty points unless you're Dan's people who he had to get penalty points in order to evacuate because the big meteor strike is coming, and when that comes, then everybody's trying to evacuate.
Was this your first time playing?
It was. Yeah, it was.
Right on.
Yeah, there's a lot to teach, but I got my...
Did you do the Shattered Timelines? or
No, I didn't do any of the modules.
Okay.
Because it does have a bunch of modules you can add in. There's one where you can move the meteor strike sooner or later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the Doomsday one is what
Nice.
it's called. Yep. And then there's some other ones where you can add in the new resource. I forget what it's called, but there's a whole new panel. Yeah, unobtainium. No.
Everyone says that every
I
time.
know. But it adds another resource
Hate
that
Avatar
you can
so
get.
much.
And then there's a third module, and I can't remember what it adds, but it does add a few different things to it. But it's nice. This guy's even the base stuff has an A side, which everybody plays the same, and then there's a B side, which is asymmetrical, depending on which your faction, what you believe in. Right, it's your path.
Your creed for your people.
You get different things. Spencer's people, he was the water people, and he's just had all this water.
Oh, nice.
And that guy's like, I like those people because you get a lot of water. He's like, okay, I'll be them. And sure enough, he just had tons of water, and he was doing all types of crazy stuff. You took the Path of Harmony?
No, he was Harmony.
Oh, he was Harmony. Who are you?
Time Travelers. Path of...
not Dominance.
It's
Yeah.
religion.
Yeah, I forgot what they're called. Then I had the Science people.
Nice.
And they were pretty cool. Yeah, they did upgrade some of the normal boards to a more balanced, because I guess they figured out some of them were a little bit unbalanced.
Oh, okay, sure.
And we did play with those. But, man, it's great. The little metal bits you get, because, it comes with plastic cubes, and I had a really hard time telling those apart.
Right.
So I had upgraded to my own kind of fancy bits that I just made. And they were nice, but it confused people who didn't play the game a lot. When they look at the card, which one is this again? But now they've got the metal bits out that look just like the pictures do, the 3 lines.
And
or the grids,
they're
or
discernible for colorblind.
Extremely, yes. Very
Perfect.
much so.
That's
so
awesome.
That helped a lot.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Mind Clash is such a great game company.
They are.
So
I'll get my 2 cents really quick.
Sure, Dan, go ahead.
I was going to say, so Dan, what did you think?
Okay,
we know what Bob thinks. It's his number one game of all time.
The game was amazing. I really might go out and buy this. It's just depressing to be I won't have any of the nice stuff though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
the exoscoots don't come in the base game.
It's a worker placement game where you can time travel.
So what did you think of the time travel? Because I know you love time travel.
Well, Tim, I'll tell you.
Now that you mention it.
So my race, my whatever they're called, my faction.
Path. Yeah.
So it turns out that my end game win condition was I needed anomalies. Right?
Well, yeah, you earn 3 anomalies to get a paradox.
And those are your negative points.
Or it was 3
I
paradox.
think it's the other way around, because on
be.
the thing it said paradox and showed an orange triangle. So I assume
Yes.
that's... So anyway, I needed 2, I think, anomalies in order to even be allowed to end the game, right?
Correct.
We didn't start traveling through time till round 3.
Yeah.
Because that rule was not explained.
We kept forgetting that part. Well, everybody had their own turn order thing, but we got after we powered up our suits, you're supposed to then take your little triangle bits, right, and secretly bid which ones you want. But we were getting so excited to start placing our workers that we skipped that part for the first 2 rounds. Oh crap! So we haven't requested anything from the future.
So let me word it. So let me word it like this. That means the soonest I could even start placing paradoxes out was round 3. So the soonest I could start time traveling would be round 4.
Right.
The
And
game is 7 rounds.
Oh man.
That's over halfway through the game before I was allowed to start working on my endgame condition.
Sort of my fault.
And I accomplished it.
did.
I actually did really well, but
He
I
did.
knew I was like, there's no way I'm winning this.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
But it was a fantastic. I told Bob afterwards, I said, like, I loved it. That might be the most stressful game I've ever played in my life because I was just like, how am I going to micromanage my endgame condition with 3 rounds left?
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to do that?
Yeah, he managed it. That was pretty good.
So well, that says a lot, right? So you unfortunately were handicapped,
Little
you
bit.
know, for the first 3
I'm
rounds
used to it.
without knowing, right?
Capable.
But you still had such a great time playing, right?
was
And ended up
such
still
a
doing pretty
cool
well. It's probably a good
That's
thing you
awesome.
tied that one
Yeah,
on
I know,
behind
right?
his back.
Otherwise I'd have won.
So who did win?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Bob won
I know,
his
it's a
favorite game?
shocker.
No, yeah,
But,
I came in last, but like I said, I really think I don't remember exactly, but I think it was really close for all 3
it
of
was
us.
pretty
Like
close.
it was,
Right
yeah,
on.
it really might be an exaggeration, but yeah, it was close enough. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was not a runaway.
Sure.
But yeah, so fantastic game, Anachrony.
Glad you liked
Check it out.
Yeah.
Time
Right
travel.
on.
All right. Time travel. And get the exosuit expansion because
By the way, what
Oh,
comes
yeah.
in the base game if you don't get those guys?
you just get like a hex, like a punch-out hex, and you place it on top of that.
Oh,
and you put it
okay.
on.
Oh, that's
Okay.
kind of
But the exosuit is so cool because your little worker dude actually goes inside
yeah, he plugs
the
into the
exosuit.
top, so
Yeah.
his little pilot head sticking
Yeah.
out.
I thought
Yeah,
that came
it's
in the
really
base
cool.
game because Bob always talks about that, and I was like,
Mhm.
well, I want the like
That's what I'm
upgraded
saying,
thing
right?
now.
Yeah.
Because I want
Yeah.
Anachrony, but that means I need the exosuit.
Yeah.
I need the metal.
That's kind of the problem with playing games. It's you're like, oh, this game's super cool. And then you go and you buy it, you're like, well, wait a minute, where's all the cool bits? I was like, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yep.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
so that was one game.
that, was
Yeah.
one game. That went really
that was
well.
a big one.
What else did
Yep.
you guys play?
And then we wanted something light, so we went for It's a Wonderful World.
Oh, okay.
Neither
How
one
was
of
that?
It was okay. It
was okay.
It was a learning game for both of us. It was short. It was
It was
way
also
shorter
only
than I
2
thought it was.
players.
It was
I think
only
it'd be
2 players.
cool
Yeah.
with more people.
Correct, because
Get
there's a
that.
draft thing, right?
Yeah.
And so like you draft one way, one round, then draft the other way. But when you're playing with 2 people, well, it's just back and forth.
Yeah,
Was
not
it
only is it just
a
back and
2-player
forth,
game,
but-
or
No,
is it
it's,
only
it's
because
2 to
you?
4.
Oh,
We
but
had
only
those.
played with.
Yeah, because somebody didn't show up. So
Hey, listen, I was a maybe.
You
I was
were-
a maybe.
you were a maybe.
Anyways.
Yep.
Whatever. You're
So
probably happier
again,
I wasn't there.
that was a really fast game. That was about 45 minutes. And like I said, it was okay.
Yeah.
I'd want to play it again now that I know what's going on and with more people.
Sure.
After that, we gave Galaxy Hunters another shot.
Sure.
It was
Now, was anybody there to spill anything on your components this time?
No, actually, no spillage
That's
this
weird.
game. So yeah, it actually worked.
tried
out.
my
That was
best.
better. Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, I kept putting my drink on the table, and there was a lid on it. And I didn't understand why there kept being a
Why is
lid
it
on
not spilling? But that still went well. I enjoyed playing that. Even at 2 players, it didn't really change up too much. There was fewer tiles to choose from, so
Okay.
that kind of hurt because I went to go buy something and it wasn't there because he had bought the only one.
Oh, sure. That's
I
all
also
right.
felt like, which makes sense, there was after the first like 2 or 3 rounds because you're kind of building up. Then I felt like there was way more combat, but it's just because we could basically fight anyone we wanted, right? There
Sure.
weren't 4 people fighting
Fighting
people
for
like
space,
on all
yeah.
the planets and everything, so we could just be like, okay, there's gonna be a lot of fighting here.
And Dan brings up a good point because with Galaxy Hunters, I do have the expansion, the new ways to hunt, right? And that adds on like the right hand side of your mech, and it gives you dice, adds dice to the combat system. We were talking about trying to play it without that expansion because with that expansion, the way it adds, to me, thematically, it makes a little more sense because you get to shoot, right? Because you're rolling your dice, you're shooting all your guns, and if the monster survives, he runs up and hits you, right? In the base game, they hit you no matter what, and then you deal however much attack damage you have to them.
Well, it's not
Okay.
even that, right? Technically, it's they hurt you no matter what, and then you kill them no matter what, because you can't even fight them unless you have enough damage to kill them.
Right, yeah, because
Yeah.
you gotta have enough fight power
Yeah,
sure.
to beat them. And so like you will be spending you only have 2 other ships to come with you. You'll be spending so much time like repairing yourself, because you have to repair your shields each time. Then you got to replenish your bullets and your energy and whatnot. Like
So it
it's
sounds
gonna
like
be-
a
it's gonna be-
tighter game.
It's gonna be that's what Dan was saying. He thinks that with the expansion, there doesn't seem much danger. Like I literally, I got hit one time.
Oh,
Other
sure.
than that, nobody
Because
got hit.
you were killing all the monsters before
Yeah,
they
we're
could
just-
even hit you.
Correct. We're rolling all these
Right.
dice and managing
Yeah.
to kill them first.
Gotcha.
And it
Um,
makes a lot of the tiles more useful because, like,
Sure.
there's all these tiles you can get for your mech that like give you 4 more energy, 4 more shield, and all this stuff that in the normal game you usually buy one that upgrades whatever your weakest stat is, and you're like, I should be fine now,
Right.
And so many of those tiles don't get bought because you don't need them with the new fighting system. So don't get me wrong, the base game fighting system might be terrible compared. I want to try it
Yeah.
because there's just no sense of danger in the actual game, and some people
Right.
are gonna love that. I'm this giant mech. I
Correct.
just want to stomp on enemies.
Yeah.
Right.
I want
Same.
some
I hear you.
resistance. resistance. I don't want to just walk around stepping on everything.
Resistance is futile.
The thing is, you need to try
People do
fighting
want
harder
challenge.
monsters. The thing is we try to like stack it so much in our favor. Like, okay, that guy's got a 6 toughness. I'm gonna roll 10 dice. You know, and like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna kill it. It's like if he's got a 6, go at it with 5. Let's see how you do. Because the dice do explode. So if you rolled a double hit, you get to roll another die. So you can keep exploding. And
I also am gonna be honest. I've never done that.
yeah, because normally we're rolling
They die
so many
instantly.
die,
That's
that
true.
we don't have
That's
to worry
true.
about it. So that's why.
Yeah, I think your way sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Like,
I just
really
want to try it.
interesting.
Might not work at all. There might be a reason the expansion came out, right? But I want to try
No,
it.
but it also could be that they had this expansion sort of in their pocket if they hit a stretch goal.
Sure.
And maybe it just wasn't as baked, as baked in. Because some expansions aren't always great. I mean, and that's not always a bad thing, right? It's still cool to have. It's always nice. But sometimes it's like, not my favorite. Like, we're just going to do these. I get it.
Yeah.
So,
But it is kind of crazy, though, that it completely changes the combat dynamic.
right. But maybe it's better you played with the expansion first because it was easier.
Correct.
Now you've got a good handle on it.
Yeah.
Right. So now you go in and you're going to upgrade the difficulty, right?
Yeah.
And there's also so much more stuff we can actually do in the game. Like, and I've never cared enough, right? But like, if you actually want to do like hardcore in the game, like you can see the back of the monster tiles before they come out, so you know what you're going to get for killing every monster.
Interesting.
That is just so much micromanaging to me. I just say I need a green monster.
Yep.
He has 6 health, so he'll probably get me 3 or 4 things.
That's how
That's good enough information
Yeah,
for me, right?
sure.
But you could technically game the game
I
hard.
wouldn't want to play like that.
I know.
personally.
That's what I'm saying, though, is there's
But
all these options out there. So I just
Sure.
want to try to see what fits together best.
Is this like the first game from that particular designer? Or?
IDW.
There's a lot out. They produce a lot of games, but I'm not sure who the designer
IDW.
is.
I meant like the
the
actual
guy,
designer.
the designers.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah, I
sure.
don't
I don't
know.
recall who the designer is. I don't have it
All
right
right.
Because that might be an issue with just like
Yeah,
His
be,
game's
could
first
be,
game
could
or
be a
something.
first, could be a first thing for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so you still, I mean, you still like it?
Yeah, I still enjoyed it, and like I said, I want to try it like the way Dan was saying.
And I do think that playing from 4 to 2, while 4 is more fun, I basically always like playing with more players. 2 played really well.
Yeah.
There were really no negatives for that.
because obviously on the map it's got like space, like okay, this spot is not available if there's fewer than 3 people, and so it did make the map still sort of tight. It wasn't like I can still go wherever I want. It was still
the fact that
limited.
they just came up with such a clever way to have an El Grande worker too.
Yeah, the big mech.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fact that your mech can go somewhere that even if there's no spots left, the mech can just go to the planet. Like
It's
just
not
great,
his first game.
Great little
Okay.
mechanics.
It's not his first game.
Okay.
He's worked on Masmora, Towers of Arcanos, Galaxy Hunters. It looks like a foreign version of Galaxy Hunters.
Yeah, I would think
These
so.
are national versions.
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that.
Nope.
Yeah.
But all right.
Cool.
All right.
So that's that.
Yep.
We also, I guess I'll mention now, because those were all the other games I played, I think. Yep. So I'll also mention we got another game of Blood on the Clock Tower done.
Yep.
It went really well again.
Did it so good.
Did it go well?
It went well.
It did go well. I will say
It
as the
still
imp,
came down to the last day. That's huge.
I will say as the imp, I was very proud of how I played that. I had people doing what I wanted them to do.
If anything, that was your downfall, was your overconfidence, I think. My mistake, but also your overconfidence in that last day
I
of
tried to help.
Tim was
Tried
like,
to help.
Tim was like, I can convince them that my line of thinking is correct, and he was purposely kind of guiding things along this, and it's just when it came down to that last day, I think people just picked it apart.
No, the problem is I needed the day before to go I knew
slightly better.
Yeah, it was like I just needed the one vote to go through. Jeff got killed instead. Jeff could have done himself a lot of favors, but didn't.
Probably.
But I had turned, some people were using information and I had turned it against them. I was basically well, if they're the imp and they know that these roles don't exist, then they can just say that they're that role and pitch this information.
By the way,
that was a
just
good
genius. I was in that call when Tim was saying that, and I was like, by George, he's got it. Because basically,
I had people going. It was so good.
Yeah, so basically it was something I don't remember the exact role, but it was something like the librarian starts knowing an outsider, right? So that person can then go to that outsider and be like, I know you, this is you. So that clears 2 people, right? Yeah, but then Tim turns around and says, yeah, but if they're the imp and they know the librarian isn't in play, then they can say they're the librarian and say what you are and then claim that, and they're free the whole game kind of thing. And it was working so well.
Oh, it was good.
I was like,
it was so good. It was so good. Yeah. I was like, I don't even care. I was so pleased with the machinations.
And I will have to say, because Spencer's not here, if you watch the last rundown,
I heard about this.
He was praying that he didn't get outed and
He
killed.
didn't get killed first.
And then
First.
he killed
killed himself. It was amazing. Oh, it was amazing. But no, Dan, thank you for running that again. Because even though I don't care if there's flubs in the rules of a game, as long as the gameplay and the experience was fun.
Well, and I was really glad too that spoiler alert, I honestly don't know how I'm going to upload this one. I have to rewatch it and see how I think it flows. I think the first one flowed really well, and also it was everyone's first game. I had to upload it. This one technically doesn't have to be. We can start only uploading the really fun, entertaining ones to watch. Right.
So I'm going to play like garbage the next one. Those are the ones that are going to get uploaded.
Yeah, we'll see. I might upload this one. We'll see. But what I wanted to say was, I was really glad though that the good guys were able to pull something off that very, very rarely happens. So everyone that was playing good team was able to get that surge of like, yes, even though unfortunately you lost, you played great, but the good guys pulled off a mayor win, and that's very difficult to do.
Yeah,
and I genuinely think the only reason they did it is because the guy who was the mayor, it was his first time playing, so everyone kind of believed him because they were like, he's probably telling the truth. He doesn't know how to lie yet.
And what's funny is that I felt bad because he was like, so why did you pick me? Like he asked me one time, like on the side. I'm like, look, man, I'm just worried because I'm not sure. It's either Jonathan or it's you.
I was in that call too.
And so I was just spinning it like all the way. I was like, look, it's really nothing personal. Like I'm grabbing it strong.
Yesterday, why would you vote me?
He sounded like so like
innocent.
What did I do? Like, no, man, trust me.
And meanwhile, Tim's like, nothing.
Yeah, I will eat your souls. Yeah, it was so good though.
Blood on the Clock Tower, guys. I'm hoping to get some more of those and start getting more videos uploaded.
Yeah. So those are the games. We got one more game you've played.
Yep.
We've all played.
We if you've been following the roulette, you know that the next game we're playing is Taverns, and so watch out for that. But we actually sat down and played it.
Yep.
We did, and I still love that dang game.
Yeah.
It's pretty darn good.
I really liked it.
No spoilers for who won.
Yeah, no. I will say though, it's really cool seeing the mechanics of that game because they were similar to the mechanics of a game I kind of wanted to make.
Oh.
So yeah, it's very, very interesting to see how those actually played out, and I'm glad to see that working.
I'm also gonna snap here because we should have our re-review up of Taverns soon.
Yes.
With the upgraded scoring system and everything. The problem is, guys, I want to call it review because that's genius, but that show already exists on YouTube. So, like, do we really take someone else's name? Like, we'll figure it out.
Oh, it already does?
Yeah, they do it for movies, but still.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So, board game review.
Yeah, sure. Exactly.
Bam.
Something like that.
Boom.
But,
Patent.
so that will be up at the second it's uploaded on that little clicky thing up there.
So I played a few games this week other than Taverns. I played on Tabletop Simulator. Well, Tabletopia, I played Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Yeah, I saw he posted on Facebook saying if people wanted to play with him,
so
he was available.
So yeah,
you could play with a star.
Well, or you could play with me.
With the dud.
Yeah, play with the dud. But yeah, join the Facebook group, the Board Game Rundown.
Link in the description.
And we are always on there commenting.
That is also where we recruit for Blood on the Clock Tower. So
that you don't have to be local to play that, right? We play that all virtually. All you need is a good mic and a decent attitude.
A good mic, and preferably access to a computer because it'll make your time much easier.
It'll work on a tablet.
It can work on a tablet, and it even works on some phones, but you're going to be playing at a massive disadvantage if you do that.
But if you can play it on a tablet, it's pretty easy.
Sure.
You can play it on an iPad or a Galaxy tablet or whatever. No problem.
Is that what you're usually playing on then?
I'm playing on a MacBook, but
Okay.
I tested
That's
it when
kind
we
of
first tested it months ago, way before we even started playing. I was on an iPad.
Catherine just plays on both. She has her laptop on the game and then her tablet on Discord, so she can see what's happening.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've got the
dual screening.
I've got the Discord on my phone.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, so that's all we do. Discord and blah blah blah. I've also been playing a lot of Ascension online with a friend of the show, I guess, Mike Picorni. He and I have been playing. So anybody else that wants to play Ascension, Timbot with a 0, TIMB0T. Send me a request, man. I will play Ascension
with anybody
all day long.
Yeah,
with anybody. I love that game. It's a deck builder.
I asked you if you wanted to play that with me, and you said no.
Oh well,
anybody cool,
friends and family.
Yeah, friends and family.
Friends and family. But yeah, so that's games we played then, right?
I believe so.
Yep.
All right, right on. So let's get into news. Oh, guys, Simon's at it again.
Uh-oh.
Simon is at it again. All right. So with a very, very popular online game, store that also has a brick and mortar that we will not mention.
Okay.
They've made another deal with Simon, so now they are selling basically Kickstarter exclusives from their miniatures games, like Rising Sun, Blood Rage, and some of the other ones.
Wow.
Now you can get at this retailer. I think
I didn't even.
Which is
read
unfortunate
that.
because I do appreciate this retailer. Like I've been to their brick and mortar. I've ordered stuff from them before.
yeah,
But man, it's more Simon's fault than their fault.
it's not. I don't blame them. I think it's dirty
Yeah,
by Simon.
why would they say no to an amazing deal?
correct.
like
Yeah, that's
that?
what I'm saying. Like
So-
especially being like an FLGS that you're trying to keep things going in this
Right.
kind of crazy times and whatnot, and that's just another little.
But it
ace in your
says
sleeve and yeah,
Kickstarter exclusive.
Exactly.
It should be Kickstarter
exclusive.
exclusive.
Yeah, I mean,
Exclusive
This
doesn't
is
mean what
not
it
the
means.
same company that did the other thing that said
Hate?
Kickstarter.
Hate?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it is.
I didn't
That's
even
why
know.
they're
I just
at it
picked it up from
again.
what he
Yeah.
said.
That's when I said Simon's at it again.
I just
Yeah.
want to make it clear.
Or
Yeah,
to say what they prefer. Come on.
Come on.
It's garbage.
That's
they really.
funny.
That is not cool.
You're gonna
yo.
start having that thrown at you, Simon. Because
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's really not.
I'm not
cool.
a fan.
I get it if you go to a convention and
Yep.
they've got extra Kickstarter stuff.
Because a lot of times they do say that this will be the only time you'll be able to get it, except for maybe at conventions,
Hey,
and that's fine.
Great.
right?
Just don't call it an exclusive.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, we're only gonna
Limited release.
Yeah, we're only
something
gonna
like
deal
that.
with these vendors.
Timed.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
There you go.
Different meaning.
Yeah, there you go.
know?
Yeah, I'm waiting for sort of the world to blow up about this
Yeah.
more, but it's
Come on.
just,
Yeah.
it's bad.
It's not.
I
cool.
didn't read that. That's terrible. I hate
Yeah, I
you.
didn't see it either. It's really
It's
unfortunate.
bad.
I would not hang out with you, company.
It's
Whoa.
really bad. It's really bad.
But I'll play your games.
I know
so-
it sucks too because I like so many of their games.
I know.
Yeah.
So getting on into, again, like we talk about conventions, Gen Con has announced dates.
Yep.
So they're trying to do the
Yeah.
hybrid
Online, in person.
online and in person because they're capping attendance this year. They haven't announced what. They haven't announced when badges are going on sale. They haven't announced hotels,
They
anything
didn't
like
announce
that.
the date, right?
They did
Yep.
announce the dates, but they haven't said how many badges.
Okay, it's my
They've just
birthday.
said limited
Yeah.
capacity. But yeah, September 16th through the 19th
Yep.
for
Pushed
Gen
it a month
Con.
back.
So instead of August 5th through 8th, which is like their normal slated time,
I think that's
yeah.
a good thing though. It's pushed back a little bit more.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and they also say we reserve the right to change this at any time,
Exactly.
Sure.
which is completely responsible, assuming that it's safe and everybody and the climate is right. You know what I mean, right?
Maybe Simon should have said that.
It's a funny factoid. I've been in the board gaming hobby for a while now, and I live not far from Gen Con. Never been. I know people who come in from like all across the country to go to Gen Con. Never been.
I can't believe you've never been. We've
Never
gone.
been.
You've traveled farther to
I
go
have
to other
traveled
conventions.
exactly. I have traveled 3 times as far to go to other conventions.
I've gone
Never
I've
gone
gone
to a
once,
Gen Con.
and it was a great experience.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
I'd like to
I
go
went once
eventually,
too.
but I'm gonna wait.
It's what you make it. I
Yeah.
think. I mean, there is a possibility we might be able to go as a show and try to do some stuff.
Nice.
at
I can't do it
Gen
this
I
Con.
will
year.
say
I would
though,
love to do that.
I literally can't. I'm
I
supposed
will
to get
say
married
though,
the week after
the
that.
year I went,
So my time's already gone.
crowds were just everywhere. If you're not a crowd person,
Correct.
maybe-
Yeah.
There are smaller, nicer
Yeah.
conventions. for
Correct.
that,
Sure. I mean, Gen Con's a beast. It's always going to be a beast.
Yeah, make sure you go there with like goals in mind. I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
this, because it's a mess.
Yeah.
You know,
I've
so
seen
you
a
know what
lot
I've never
of-
done at Gen Con, and I've been a bunch of times. I've never.
Played a game. No, some people go and they just
Been
go for the
kind.
new stuff, and they don't go to the play area to actually play games.
Yeah,
I mean that's fair.
I've never.
Like
some
the year
people
I went,
like.
I was just doing obviously the
I
film
played a
festival,
ton of
so-
games because I'm usually teaching at Gen
Yeah,
Con.
sure.
Yeah.
But then because I'm teaching for like half of the time, I spend the other half of the time going around to vendors and like
Yep.
looking at
Yep.
see sales
Yep.
and picking up promo
Promos,
cards and things
yep.
like that because they give you free promos at a lot of these booths
Yeah.
and stuff. And so you
really
get,
missed a lot.
and and so like what I try to do is because Bob doesn't go is it's like my sister, so Pat and Julia who are awesome and very considerate people. We're like go around and it's like, does Bob have this game? Who has this game? Right? And so we go around.
I
and
do
we-
appreciate that.
So I try to bring you back,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like a bunch of promos and stuff for games you've got because I mean it's
That's where you get them at.
yeah, that's where you get them at. It's so I mean if you're not comfortable going, but maybe you got a friend that is, be like, hey man, like hook a brother up, like go
Right.
out and try to find some
Definitely.
stuff.
I do it in a much less professional, awesome way than you. But my favorite thing about Gen Con was just meeting all these huge personalities, right? Like
Yeah.
I sat and talked to the Dice Tower guys for a while. I met Rodney Smith. I had a whole conversation. It was the year that Covert came out, and I had a whole conversation with Kane Klenko, just one-on-one. Like, it was almost like an interview.
Nice.
You know, I was just talking to him about the game stuff because he was just standing there teaching the game, and then he was in between games, and I just stood there next to Kane Klenko.
So-
we were just talking for a while.
So it's funny you say that because
I loved it.
I was there talking to Joey Vigor for Chaosmos, which is a game of his that I really like. And then a year later, I back his Kickstarter for Growl. And now Growl is like this amazing game we play all the time.
Yeah,
That's fun.
And
so that's my favorite thing is meeting these personalities and seeing, you know, these people that do great things for this hobby and just talking to them about how they do it, you know, and why they do it and their favorite games. Like what's King Clanker's favorite game?
Guess
That
what?
kind of stuff.
We have a platform now where we can take a video camera down to conventions.
I got to yell
When they
hi
start
at Eric
back up.
Lang, and he waved back at me. I was very
I haven't
excited.
had that yet.
I was very excited.
I'm a
about
loser.
that. I
So
was
if you
very
guys want
excited
to see
about that.
some like convention stuff, let us
It
know.
wasn't Gen Con, but there was a Geekway in St. Louis where I got to play The Godfather with Stephen Bonacore
Stephen
and Jeffrey
Bonacore.
Engelstein, who made like what is it, Space Cadets, and he's got like the Ludology podcast. He's done a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
He's a big guy, big name,
Nice.
awesome people. It was super fun. So conventions are coming back, hopefully. So please be responsible as we get into this season because we all want them to happen.
Of course.
So
Keep wearing your mask.
do your part. I mean, it's easy.
Keep your part to stay.
It's not
apart a
politics.
little bit.
It's just do your part, right? Be a good human being. I've got one other bit of news, but I'll wait in case you guys have something.
Go ahead.
I just have a little thing. I just wanted to mention I saw the announcement for Exit. Let me find the right page, but it was called Shadows over Middle-earth.
Oh, right on.
Don't know anything else about it, but
Lord of the Rings
yeah,
exit game.
Lord of the Rings exit game coming, so that's cool. Exits are fun.
How's that Star Wars exit?
I've still only played the first one. Did I talk
Okay.
to you about this?
A
But
little
it
bit.
was fantastic. I mean, it
Awesome.
was honestly not trying to dump on other people's, escape games because I like most of them. This Star Wars one, I've never seen one like it. Like the things it does with that app and the storytelling that it does, I was blown. I talked about this once on the show. I remember now because I literally like something happened and I literally like slapped the table and left the room. I actually walked outside and I just stood, and now I was purposely over dramatizing it, but it was mind blowing. Like what had happened. Like everyone at the table's jaw just dropped, and I like just left the room, and I was like,
Listen,
I
Dave
cannot
gets
believe
really
they did
excited
that.
whenever Mickey Mouse shows up in anything.
I know. I was like, wait, but Disney owns Star Wars. No, but
How is this possible?
yeah, but no, yeah, fantastic.
Tauntaun groaned, fell over. They cut it open with a lightsaber, and Mickey Mouse came out. It was so weird.
But the exit games they're extremely cheap, and they are ones that you usually destroy from my experience when playing. So they are one-time use, but I do suggest checking them out if you're an other brand of escape games.
Yeah.
And so Middle Earth sounds cool.
Right on. My only other bit of news is just kind of like social stuff, right? So there was a Warframe. Are you familiar with the video game Warframe?
I am.
So it was a Warframe-inspired RPG that was on Kickstarter for like 2 hours and then got pulled down.
Because it was too inspired by.
No, not at all. Actually, because people started harassing the guy because it was inspired by. Everyone was like, oh, well, good luck with your IP and blah, blah, blah. And the guy had everything cleared, was no infringement and everything, but he was getting harassed on Reddit
I think
and
I saw
Twitter
someone post about this.
so much
Reddit can be
that he just
successful.
pulled it all down because he
Weird.
was like freaking out and having panic attacks because he was getting attacked by people for
that's
their
not-
opinion where he had
that's not
actually
cool.
done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say,
Stop
in
being a
light of
jerk on the
this
internet.
news,
Oh.
guys, just be nice to each other.
I know, right?
If you think, and we've seen Kickstarters, I forget the one, there was one like a year ago that was literally like a cut and paste job of Massive Darkness. Like, look, the universe is going to write itself. The people who see these things that are connected to the companies that are getting ripped off, they're going to correct it.
Yeah.
We do not need to go out there.
They don't
and,
need our help.
Yeah.
Sure. I do think.
And I don't think
vigilante.
you harass people into submission. I
have you
just
done?
don't.
Yeah.
I
What have
just
you
don't like it.
I was gonna say,
just
I do
get
think it's good. I
stressed.
think it's okay, to get your opinion out there. If you're really against this and you say, hey, I think this is kind of a bad idea. Now, in this case, you're uneducated. But I'm just saying, like, if you disagree with something, I do think
You
it's
can-
okay to say that. It's how you say it.
Right, and you
Sure,
could also
sure.
question like, oh, this seems really close to the IP. Is there going to be any infringement?
Right.
Sure, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't have to be a jerk about it.
Yeah.
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 There's a line between constructive criticism and being super toxic.
Or,
to
yeah,
towards
and just
someone,
honest questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honest questions.
But I really, really, really hate the toxic nature of any community, right?
Sure.
And it's unfortunately it's just as prevalent in the board gaming community as it is in video games and movies and whatever.
Sure, it's the human
It's the human
I'm
race.
just saying.
We're the worst.
But yeah, so I just saw that. It made me kind of depressed.
Sure.
So between that and the CMON news, I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah, rough week for you.
Ugh.
Meanwhile, I'm like, Middle Earth.
Yeah.
At least
That
there's
sounds
still
great.
Gen Con.
Yeah, and Gen Con's good news.
I'll say a little bit of news just to kind of follow up on.
Yeah.
While I say I haven't gone to Gen Con, one of my favorite conventions to go to
Yep.
is
Geekway.
Geekway to the West. It's one that's more about going to play games, and not just
yes.
what's the cult of the new.
Yes.
And they did announce that they're going to have a Geekway in 2021. It's going to occur October 5th through 7th, so it's kind of the middle of the week. So
It's a weird time, but they were trying to honor. It was basically the best they could do to honor the
have it this year.
commitment to this year with between the hotel and the people that want to go.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And so, I mean, if you love playing games, to me, it's one of the best ones to go to because there's a large group of people that have huge rooms. They have a play-to-win library where you can go check out a game.
It's massive.
You play it, and then you give you a little card. You put everybody's name that played it on there. They put it into a box, and at the end of the weekend, they pull a card out. They roll a die. The person on that card wins that copy of the game.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
it's-
cool.
Yeah, it's a super neat thing to do.
Not that it matters at all. How does it work if you play that game over and over and over and over again and win over and over and over and over
It
again?
doesn't matter if you win or lose the game, right? But yeah, you can only win one
Oh,
game.
it's play to win, not win to win.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
So like, say the four of us played Taverns of Tiefenthal. We put it all on there. You know, all of our names on there. We put that card in the thing.
Now,
And at
if
the end-
Bob and I are like, well, we already own this game, you
Yeah.
could just leave our name off.
correct.
Sure, I get. All I'm wondering, you guys might know. I just have no idea how this works. I've never been to Geekway. What I'm saying is, if you play the same game over and over again, can you put your name in the box over and over again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to bring it back each time, right? You bring it back.
Of
and say, we want
course.
to check it out again, and you check it out again, and
Supposed
they give you
to.
another card, and then yes, you just fill out multiple cards.
Sure,
right?
I've heard about your.
Because that way you
Trauma
can kind of
stuff.
keep, if you really want this one game, like you can keep,
Okay.
playing it.
Okay.
I won my Gloomhaven that way.
That's also a really great way to bring people into like playroom game play areas
Yep.
like that, because I've seen other conventions do that, and there are people in there playing like board games, but it's not there's no like incentive to actually like go and like say let's just play a random game.
Gen,
I mean,
Gen
what-
Con was huge in that, but
What
that's-
we usually do is we find like a room or a table and just
Claim it.
claim that table all day.
yeah.
And then the next morning
We get up.
We get
claim
up,
it
And if
again.
there's someone on that table,
we get it.
Get out of here.
Luckily, they're all nerds, so we're
Yeah.
all like at the
it's
equal
weird that you
strength
haven't been
level.
allowed back to Geekway in a while.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of weird. Yeah, they
Yeah.
said something about a COVID last year, but it seemed like everybody else went. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so weird.
Yeah, but no, it's
Yeah,
a really good convention.
Geekway's really good.
Yeah.
Geekway's really good. I
Totally
don't.
recommend.
I feel like it is declined. Some of the shine is worn off as they've because it used to just be like 1,000 people. And
Yeah,
then
it
it's
used to
gotten
be
bigger.
small. Now it's big.
Now it's
Yeah.
getting bigger.
I assume that means there's a Geekway of the East. By the
No.
way?
No.
No. Oh, it's just called Geekway of the West.
Geekway to the west.
because it's in St. Louis.
So
Sounds
St.
like
Louis
it's
is
the
the gateway to the west.
Yeah.
So it's Geekway to the west.
Yeah.
That's clever.
To the
Okay.
west.
I just figured they had a East
No,
Coast and West
yeah.
Coast thing.
Yep.
No.
But yeah, no, Geekway's solid. It's
Yeah.
a really good
Super
sit
enjoyed
and
it.
play convention. You'll still see big names there.
Yeah, a lot of
Vassal is there.
Mhm.
You'll see
Yeah,
guys
developers and whatnot, and they still have a lot of people like they have a big vendor hall where people do bring.
there. Yeah, the
things.
vendor hall. Yeah,
And they have
And
people
there's-
like playtesting. Like they do a lot of different like events too. Like they have a fancy gaming where people get dressed up and go to play.
Yeah, we did fancy gaming.
I would
The
love to
opening
do
night,
that.
like, because if you can be a patron where you buy like you get like a special coin and whatnot, but then you can go to the patron event at the first night where like they've got a local brewery whom they make like special brews for the convention.
Oh, wow.
And you just go and you
Get-
drink
you
and
get
eat
free
snacks
beer
all
and-
night and talk to people.
Yeah, free beer and hang out. And
Yeah, well, you don't have to drink. It's free
you
snacks.
just
You like
walk
cookies,
in and get
right?
the free snacks.
I was saying all those games getting spilled.
Oh
on
no,
them.
Oh
actually,
yeah, no. Usually people are pretty good
No.
about it.
no, fancy gaming's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They do a lot of fun things.
A lot of events.
We Bob and I used to play in the DC Deck Builder tournament
Yep,
there.
deck tournament each time. Yep. And then another thing
Barf.
too is there is a really
Listen.
big local game store, and they usually have a big booth there where they do like
Yep.
dent and dings and whatnot. But you can order things
Ah.
off their website, and they'll bring it to the convention.
Oh, cool.
For free.
Cool.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Well, that was our 40-minute Geekway section.
I know. Sorry.
Well, I was like, well, I just want to sprinkle in this
Let me
one
sprinkle this
little
in.
tiny thing. No, Geekway is really
That's
good.
good. Yeah.
It,
Nope.
it used
I
to
like
be
to give it some love because
used to be
yeah.
better, but it's still really good.
Yeah. When it was really small, it was always because those are always
You had a
close
better
to your
chance of
heart.
win too.
Yeah, but yeah, that too.
And they gave you better games. Like you used to get, you basically would early at Geekway days, you draw a chip out of a bag and it have a game on it. So they'd have all these different games. It could be like Fortress America, King of New York, and then there's some that are like, whatever.
Now the free games aren't as good.
Now the free game is the game design. They do a game design contest
every year.
So the winner of that contest, their game is produced usually by Indie Board and Cards.
We need to get to work, Tim.
I know.
Yeah. And then that game is given away.
And then that game is given away to everybody at the next Geekway.
Which is pretty cool.
Nice.
But it stinks for me because like I go with my wife and my
we have like 8 copies of the same
and my
game.
brother-in-law. So like we've got families that are getting multiple copies of the same game,
That's
and that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But they make great giveaways.
They make great giveaways.
So anyway.
I still have all mine.
Okay.
I mean, I've given away the
Moving
extra
on.
copies. Moving on. Kickstarters. I've just got 2.
Okay, I have one.
I have one. Crowd surfing.
I have whatever you guys have.
Sure.
That's a good move. I had all 3 of those.
I'll just talk real quick. High Noon.
Oh, that's fine.
Yep.
So as this comes out, there'll be just over a week in a few days. We've got a preview of High Noon up.
Little Western skirmish game.
Western skirmish game. The base game will fill as soon as the Kickstarter ends. So that means you're going to get your game in April from them.
Yeah.
So it's $52
This
for the main game.
Yes.
$97 for one of the expansions, and then $130 for everything. And there's a bunch of expansions, upgraded bits, and things like that.
They do the Gatling gun look sweet.
Yeah. I
think it's a different game mode where it's like everyone else is like it's horde
coming
mode.
at you.
I think that's what it is.
Like tower defense.
Yeah.
But it's a solid like skirmish game with a good theme. I mean, the theme integrates well, and you can see our thoughts on the preview video.
Yeah.
What you got, Hoop?
We all know I love World War II games.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there is a new World War II game coming out. It's called Built for War.
I didn't see this one.
And so it's basically because World War II was a lot of it was won because of the tanks, right? And tanks went through a lot of development and whatnot. And this game is basically all about that, where you are drafting tiles, you're trying to design a tank. You have to worry about your weight, for speed and how big are your guns and things like that. And so you have to figure out your player board is like this big, and you're like putting these different tiles on there with different abilities for your tanks, and then you're fighting your tanks against each other.
Right on.
So you can do like, I'll be fast and mobile and just try to run towards and try to get towards to complete objectives, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna get big heavy duty tank, just sit here and just keep launching heavy shots at you.
Guess it's one person per tank.
Well, it's 2 to 4 players, so I don't know. I think you do just get the one tank that you build up.
I was gonna say it sounds like almost like a one-person kind of version of that U-boot.
Oh,
game.
sure.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool too, right? You have like people inside your tank, and you got to move them around. Like, all right, you're the gunner, you get up top.
I was gonna say, you know what I kind of hope they do, even though it's not important, just for like a little historical, actually cool theme thing. Is I hope because you can create your own tank with these modules. Basically, you're saying, right? I kind of hope there's like a little guide that says like, if you wanted to build a Sherman tank, here's the upgrades you would use. Like,
this
and
there are technologies, right?
So
you can research different technologies to it.
Tank
I like that.
And you can do
that'd be cool.
there are some things sort of like that where you can do like because cards will come up also, and like you can do like a blitzkrieg, so you can like rush somebody's objective and take it away from them before they can get to it. Things like that.
Nice.
So yeah, there are some historically accurate things in there.
I can dig it.
So yeah, it looks super cool.
Trees.
It's I know, right? It looks super cool.
Sold.
So
Yeah, this sounds really cool.
Yeah, 2 to 4 players.
I can dig it.
It's safe as Dan.
Oh,
as
I
Dan
like
would
safe.
say.
Oh, it's safe.
And let's see. By the time this airs, you're still gonna have about almost 2 weeks left to back it. So you got some time to get it on it.
Sweet.
Built for War.
That was one of my games too. I just
Oh, sure. I know you have this one, Jeff, but I'm going to talk about it.
No, yeah,
Okay,
go ahead. I don't want to take your thunder.
I just felt like I liked it more than you did.
Probably.
From our conversation. So I saw something that I thought the name was kind of interesting, and it reminded me of the picture of I can't remember what it's called now, but the one Spencer talked about where you're making like the newspaper clipping. It's like that party game where you're I can't think of what that's called right now. Ransom Notes. I think you're right. Yeah. But anyway, it doesn't play like that, but it just reminded me of it. So it's called Ghost Rider, by Mary Flanagan, and so it's like a little party game, I guess, kind of deduction game. I don't know what you'd want to call it. I guess like Codename style party/deduction, right?
Are we talking writer like as a
writer, a ghost writer?
Based off the PBS show from like.
That's a negative Ghost Rider.
Well, I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to say Ghost Rider is just a very popular phrase and job.
The thing that Bill Cosby had with his pen.
Oh, that was Picture Pages.
Picture Pages.
But basically in the game, you split up into teams, right? So Codenames-esque, right? You split up into teams. There's one spirit on each team. And how it works is the spirit draws a card, the 2 spirits. So Tim and I are a spirit, and we pick a word on that card, right? So the word might be potato. I don't know.
I choose
Then
potato.
the teams, everyone else plays question cards saying like, what part of your body would you use on this? Right? Where are you most likely to find this? Right? The other team doesn't see the question they're asking. So Jeff shows me, I guess us, it doesn't matter, right? But Jeff shows me the question that he's asking me, and I start writing the answer one letter at a time. So if he says, where would you start writing this? I might write like S, T, O, and the second he thinks he knows what I'm writing, he would say, Silencio. Because that way it gives you guys less clues as to what he's guessing, right?
Wow, okay.
Then your team asks a question, right? And then some of the spots have little eyeballs on it, which means that when you get to that spot, you get to pick one of the words, any word there, and add one more letter to it.
Okay.
So that gives you a little more hint.
I like this.
I do, yeah.
what
That
they're
Sounds really
saying.
good.
Yeah.
Is this on Kickstarter?
Yeah. So 25 days left. April 15th is what really matters to you guys. You can get a $3 print and play version, or it's $25 for the base game.
That's not bad at all.
Let's see. After that, and then when the team's ready to guess, they guess one letter at a time again. So for because the example they gave was man, I don't know, but basically words might start the same but end different, right?
Sure.
They're close but not exact.
Yeah.
So they write one letter at a time. If they ever get it, so every letter that they write, I knock on the table. If they get it wrong, I go shh, and then they have to stop.
Nice.
that letter's
answering.
wrong.
Exactly, and they stop. And then so the game continues from there then. When they've written what they saying as their last letter, they have to put a period to let the ghost know I'm saying that's the word, just in case there's
More
there's
to
an
it.
ing on the end or something,
Sure.
right? But yeah, so that's basically the whole game.
That is
And then you just whoever guesses it right first wins. But
I'm
I
totally
thought
not looking it up
I
right now.
find these mechanics very interesting. And
I love it.
like the
I-
black
How
look.
did it not pop up? Search Ghost Rider.
I got it.
But
Did you
yeah,
get the
Ghost
Nick
Rider by
Cage
Mary
movie?
Flanagan.
No, I hit
April 15th. Oh, and then I just wanted to mention something else, not for this game, but for another Kickstarter, because you're done with your Kickstarters, right?
I got one
Yeah.
more, but
Okay, then I'll let you say
It's
that
quick.
first, just in case.
mine's one that I've covered before.
Okay, then no. Did you see there's a game on there right now? I honestly don't know if it's a game or just miniatures, but I think it's a game. But I just had to click on it because it's called Thunder Cougar Falcon Beards.
I'm
my
in.
God.
Did you see that?
No.
I don't know what
No,
it is.
but again, the name.
It looks like it's like a
Houston, we have a dolphin.
I know.
So you've been eaten.
That's why I had
That
to say it.
is a very slight
It's a very
Futurama
Dan name.
reference too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a what?
Futurama reference, I
I
guess.
don't know.
It's a Thunder Cougar Falcon Bird.
Oh, I have heard that.
okay. So yeah, it's Thunder Cougar Falcon Beards, I think, and it's like they're a bunch of like dwarfy looking guys.
Thunderbeard.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's that you're just getting these awesome miniatures, or if it's like, because from the pictures it looks like it's like a Blood Bowl type sports game,
Okay.
right? Which would kind of Thunder Cougar Falcon Beards, like they're the
Sure.
teams.
Yeah.
I think because it's called that one big word, but on the box it says Thunder Cougar and Falcon Beards.
Okay.
And I'm just not sure. Like, so is it like a sportsy game where you're fighting each other and there's like
Right.
these, and they're pushing for this brand new type of resin that's never been used before, and they're saying this resin is much better. It lets us print them as one piece, so you don't have to put them together.
I cannot find it.
Oh yeah, okay.
But that's cool. Please continue. It sounds
don't
great.
worry about him.
So it's supposed to be able to print bigger pieces, not everything, of course, but in one piece instead of multiple pieces, and you don't have to prime it. The material is better at holding paint and everything like that, so you don't have to prime it. Like, they're just pushing this brand new resin with these. I saw that they're saying like is the next big thing. Of course, they want it to be, right? They made it, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I saw that the picture, the name, and everything, and I was like, I hope Tim sees this.
Right?
Oh my
But-
gosh,
That's funny.
that sounds amazing.
But anyway, my actual pick, Ghost Rider. Check it out. It sounds interesting.
It does.
Yeah. So my last one, real quick, is just a game that we played. The more I think about it, the more I like it, and it's Night Market. Again, it's the newest one from Talon Strikes Studios. It is $50 for the base game, $75 for the deluxe, and $115 is the all-in. So that comes with 4 expansions and the deluxe version of the game.
Okay.
And it. Yeah.
Dwarves
Oh,
for
it's all one
fantasy
word.
football.
Okay.
Thunder
Oh,
Cougar
interesting.
Falcon Beard.
So they're
Fantastic.
dwarves for fantasy football. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. But anyways, Night Market, we played it. We've got a video for Night Market.
Where?
Oh, wait, there it goes. But yeah, really solid. And I'm really excited to see what the final components and everything look like.
Yep.
But such a unique theme, right? Like the Taipei night market.
Yeah, it doesn't get done super often. When it is done, it's nothing like this. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
These mechanics are super interesting.
Yeah, it does a lot of neat things. So night market is definitely worth a look.
And it comes from the great people behind Shadow Network. So I'm
Yay!
sold. You know that.
And they also do vinyl and something else that I'm forgetting. But yeah, okay. So that's all Kickstarters?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we're going to go into a top 5. So you guys don't know our good friend Troy, but Troy is I met through my sister and my brother-in-law. Yep. He is part of their Indianapolis gaming group.
Friends and family.
Friends and family.
Friends and family.
Yeah, we get it.
Troy's an amazing dude. I love playing games with him.
Yep.
His love of comic books and horror movies rivals my own, so we always have good conversations. And so Troy is moving out of the Indianapolis area to a different area.
Oh, no.
I won't give away everything. But I was sad. Troy's leaving. So I reached out to Troy and said, hey, man, why don't you pick a top 5 for us so we could talk about it. And so he gave me his...
This is when Jason and Katie leave.
Right.
So go ahead.
So he gave me his top 5, which I will integrate with. Do you want me to integrate his top 5 in with ours, like we all do 5?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. Or I could just do it all at
It'll
the
be
end.
like People's Choice at the end.
People's choice. Or I could do it all at the end and just give him his own list.
That's true.
Right at the end. Which do you think is better? Integrating it in? Or
yeah, I think
I would integrate it.
Okay. Okay. So Troy also, like me, because you guys thought I was BSing when I said this, Lovecraftian themed games. So Troy's a big Lovecraft guy. I'm a big Lovecraft guy. We play a lot of these games together.
Yeah.
So Troy, thank you for giving us this list. It gives me a great excuse to talk about a bunch of games that I already love.
It broke Tim's heart. He has to talk about Lovecraft games.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Bob's like, sure,
Yeah.
it was Troy's.
Sure, it was Troy.
Like, we get it. We get it. So, Bob, why don't you start us off with your number 5?
My number 5 Lovecraftian game, Mansions of Madness.
Yeah.
So good. Modular boards. You get to pick your different investigator. One of my favorite things to do is they've got this one module where basically you're, it's like the murder whodunit, right?
Right.
You show up to this party and the lights go out. Someone's dead. You got to figure out what's going on. And it's great. You're exploring tiles. You're figuring out clues.
Yeah.
You can talk to people. They have an app now that you can help guide you through. That makes it super easy. We like to sometimes we'll put it on the TV so everybody can see it easier.
Yeah, Patrick does that when we play at his house, and it looks amazing. Yeah,
it's super fun game. My biggest beef with that is the minis. The minis could be better.
The minis are not great.
They are not great.
It's because it's Fantasy Flight. Right?
Yes. Yeah. When they redo that game, they should make the minis not
they,
the 2-part.
They have redone the game, and the minis still stink. They stunk in the first version.
Yeah.
too.
Okay. Well, they need to redo it a third time.
Yeah, third edition.
And
Let's go.
fix the minis.
Yeah, but Mansions second edition is the only edition I've played,
Same.
and it's great.
Yes.
It is great. That will be my number 5 as well.
Nice.
Because it is on my list.
Nice.
It is a fantastic game for all the things you just said.
I've technically played it, but this was a weird situation for me. Funny, we joked about this earlier today, where I had a friend many years ago. This was the first board game he ever bought. First of all.
Oh, wow. That's a big one to
He
get
went,
in.
it's big.
Crunchy.
Yeah, I don't know why he did it. But anyway, he invited me over once. I'd never heard of this game. This was when I had like Dead of Winter and Betrayal House on the Hill, right? And he was like, he's the board game guy because he has 2 games.
He has 2 of them.
He invited me over. I knew nothing. And he said, hey, teach me this game.
Oh.
I had to set
Wow.
up Mansions of Madness, start trying to teach it. We got like a couple rounds in, and I was like, I can't do this, man. Like,
Was
this
it
is way
first
too
edition,
big.
second edition?
It was first edition. This was a
Oh,
long,
first edition's
it's
even
long time ago,
worse.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm telling
wow.
you, like, this was a really bad experience, but it wasn't the game's fault. So I just say I haven't played that game. Like,
You haven't really played the
No,
game.
no, no. Yeah, and again, though, first edition, there's so much setup that goes
Yeah.
into just even creating the scenario. Whereas in second edition, it's like you choose the scenario, and the app comes up, and it tells you where to place your board.
Sure, I can assume even from the not exactly the same, but the difference in playing Imperial Assault versus
yes,
with the app.
exactly.
Tell you
So-
what you tell it what expansions you have.
Same kind of thing.
What kind
Yeah.
of mission you want to play, like length of time, and then
Same kind
same
of thing.
thing.
Sure,
Yep.
but at least with Imperial Assault, I had played it a couple times with someone
Sure.
who had taught it, and
Yeah.
I know Star Wars.
Right,
You
right.
know? At that point, I
Yeah.
was like, what are you throwing at me, man?
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
That's a lot to throw at somebody.
I don't-
Catch this table.
I don't think I would try to tackle first edition now if I didn't have to, because I'm so spoiled by second edition.
Sure.
So Jeff, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is only number 5 because this isn't technically Lovecraft, but I think it falls close enough
just
to it.
Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Planet Apocalypse.
Yep.
That's Lovecraft.
Oh, that is
I actually-
100%
yeah.
Lovecraftian.
You know what?
Okay.
I even looked it up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on my list, but I almost put it on my list. But I looked it up. There's an expansion literally called Cthulhu. So I was like, it's
there you go.
Lovecraft.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the giant. That's the giant Cthulhu model.
Yeah, we play, or I played it with you guys only once, but it was a really fun game.
You know what?
Cool
That
co-op.
game should be on my list,
Really
and it's not
hard.
because I forgot about it. That game is amazing. I love it.
You own it.
I know. Well, I'm looking at my games, and because it's so immense, it's in a tote, and it's not on the shelf, so I don't see the Planet
You put some
Apocalypse
masking
name.
tape on there. With it.
I know, right?
This is seriously my 6 or 7. Like I said, I looked at it. It's almost on the list.
Yep, I almost put it on.
Yeah,
It was
it's
close.
very
It's
good.
really good.
if you
Tough co-op.
yeah, if you like a tough co-op, and that says a lot, right? Because you played it once.
And we apparently played the easiest villain when I joined.
Yeah.
And we almost got our butts kicked.
Yeah.
So just
Yep.
Yeah.
As long as
Planet
Dan doesn't
Apocalypse.
roast snake eyes.
Oh
Snake
god.
eyes. I don't know who jinxed you, whether it was you or whether it was Bob, because you said it, and then Bob goes snake eyes right as you rolled it, and it was snake eyes. So I don't know.
Well, I
maybe
only-
it was
That
we
juju came
needed
from
both.
somewhere.
I
Yeah.
only 50% jinxed me, and
Yeah.
Bob needed to
The
throw
other
that
Yeah,
extra.
Bob
50%.
just pushed it over, pushed it over the edge.
So my number 5 is going to depress Tim a bit because it's definitely his number 1.
No, it's not.
Okay, interesting. I
It's
like
not.
this. Well, it's definitely on his list though.
It is on
my
my
number
list.
5 is Cthulhu Wars.
Yeah, it's not my number one
Okay.
because, but go on, and I'll
Sure.
tell you why it's not my
So
number
Peterson Games, 2 to 4 players, came out in 2015, evidently, and just a fantastic giant like area control, asymmetric power domination game. I
Yes.
will rule the planet, you know, and fantastic miniatures. Peterson
Yeah.
Games,
one. Right,
you know,
Planet Apocalypse, Cthulhu
Yeah,
Wars.
exactly. There's
Yeah.
going to be a trend here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what else to say, really. I know Tim will talk about it a bit.
Yeah, in a little
it's-
while I
yeah.
will. It's not my number one specifically because while the theme is Lovecraftian, right? It's Cthulhu. There's the games that are higher on my list are more like horror. Like you get really
Sure.
more immersed into like
Sure,
an
I like that.
experience.
Sure, I like that.
Where Cthulhu Wars is just this really
Yeah,
fun,
bombastic.
bombastic kind of but it's not like that dread, that creeping dread
it's more
of
just
like
battling
Mansions of
other armies,
Madness.
right?
I'm actually
something
going
like
to
that.
also throw in here, only this is just something I'm doing. I don't know or care if it's on their list, but I'm going to say Cthulhu Wars / Cthulhu Wars Duel. They're very similar.
Oh, yeah.
Duel is
Actually.
just the less expensive 2-player version.
Very accessible.
a fantastic game, yeah. So if you don't want to try to get into Cthulhu Wars, but you think the
And
thing
If you don't want to take a
sounds-
second mortgage out on your house,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can just try the
exactly.
dual version.
I highly suggest Duel, especially because I expect when they start adding expansions, it's gonna go more than 2 players, right? Like I think it might hit that 3rd player. They could easily do something.
Yeah,
epic
we'll
to do
see.
that.
We
We'll
will see.
They
The
might not because
expansions
it's
are coming
called
soon.
Duel, right? So
Right.
2-player game. They might not. I do think though they are capable of it. So it's going to be up to them if they want to or not.
Right.
I just think there could be an expansion that
Sure.
even just changes the name to Cthulhu Wars Fight.
So
Terrible name.
So Troy's number 5 is Tower of Madness from
Oh, nice.
2018.
Okay.
So I'm just going to read his words.
Sure.
Hey, this thing is insane. Big old tower with tentacles that you pull out. Marbles drop out of the tower that will give you victory points, spells to use, or insanity. Such a lovely, chaotic game. Be sure to play the giant version at the next convention. So yeah, this
Ooh.
is like
Big one.
Kerplunk.
Yep.
So you got a big tower
Okay.
and these
Filled with marbles.
filled with
and-
marbles that are being held up by these tentacles that are sticking out of the building. And so on your turn, you're going to pull out a tentacle, and marbles are going to drop down. And then depending on the color of the marble, it's going to trigger different things. So you're going to get different cards that are going to give you different things. The green marbles are like insanity. So if you get too much insanity, like things happen. I own this game. It's pretty fun. It's a goofy. It's definitely like a table presence game, right? Like
Yeah.
people walk by, I'm like, what the heck is that? I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I ended up buying it. I was at Gen Con, saw the gigantic version, and was like, holy smokes, like this is just fun to mess with. But yeah, Tower of Madness is pretty good.
Never played it, but I've seen it.
And my number 5 was Mansions of Madness.
Yep.
So
So back to me. Number
you.
4. I've only played this one time,
Oh.
but it's very cheeky, and I really enjoyed it. Wrestlenomicon.
yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. It's like
Nice.
it's a 2-player game. You're
Yep.
playing cards. You're kind of like it's a back and forth, like tug of war kind of thing.
Sure.
And it's a blast. The cards are a joke. Like you're reading them, and there's so many like puns and hidden references and things like that. Like I just thought it was great.
It's very
very tongue in cheek,
and the art's great.
Yeah,
right?
the art,
like
the art
big
was very
tarot-sized
cool.
cards.
Yep.
And yeah, the art's really good. Man, I'm glad you like that game.
Yeah.
I like that game too. We need to play
I
it
wasn't
more
expecting
and do a
that.
review.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was not
Nice.
expecting it either, which is why I got excited.
Yeah.
Right on. Number 4.
All right.
Jeff.
I know at least one of you has it on your list because I saw it.
Oh,
so if they want to jump in,
Why
that's
don't you just
cool.
say Dan because you sat sitting
I
next to me.
know. He looked right at me.
Like, I wonder whose list.
But Evil High Priest.
Nice.
I've never heard of
I
it.
will punt mine because it'll be on the list, but I have a feeling it's further down on somebody else's list too.
Probably.
But yeah, we've played it for the show. We have a review up somewhere. But it's a really cool theme on the worker placement,
Yep.
and all the bits are awesome. All the upgraded bits.
Yeah.
You have buckets of blood. You have these like weird little starfish thing that kind
Magic.
of resemble the
Yeah, the Elder
Mansions
Signs.
of Madness people, and
yeah.
yeah, it's just an overall really fun time.
Yeah.
You know, who
great
is
game.
the designer? What was the game company that printed that one?
Does it start with P and N and Ederson Games?
Oh, let's do
PA
let's do Ghost Rider. I'll write a P.
I don't like where this is going.
Oh no, wait. T.
Oh,
That's
okay.
better.
Pineapple Schnapps.
Yep.
Who taught you how to spell?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Evil Eye Priest,
Evil Eye
really
Priest,
good.
great game.
Yeah, I love the theme
Nothing
there.
else to say about it.
I love the theme there that these people are trying to like rage you, and they're seeing your crazy cultist, and they're like, I won't.
Yeah, let's not go in there.
I'll go over there instead.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and the thing that all your other workers are just in the insane asylum.
Insane Asylum,
Exactly.
Yeah, they're like running around crazy. Yeah, they're like, let's go raid them. Ooh, let's not raid
I
them.
don't know.
Let's
There's
do-
a lot of dudes. there.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Okay.
So I am going to
Let Dan say his.
Yeah, mine
let
wasn't
Dan
that.
say his. That's right. What you got there, buddy?
So my number 4 is actually a game that Tim has played once, but it was at a Meeple event and you were distracted. I don't remember what by, if it was your kids or if it was a meeting. I think it was a meeting.
I think we had a meeting. I know
But
what
he
game
kept
this is.
leaving and having to come back. So like he really didn't play that much. We were kind of like moving his pieces. Then he'd come back and be like, "Here's what you've done so far, right?"
Yeah.
But and I don't think either of you have played it, but it's Deep Madness.
Right.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yeah.
Great miniatures.
Yeah, really good
Is
miniatures.
this Steamforge Games?
This is Dimension.
Oh, Dimension.
This is Dimension Games by Chauncey and Roger Ho, 1 to 6 players from 2018. And yeah, it's the theme is really cool. There's like does one of those things where it has like I think Nemesis did this too, where there's like this comic book thing that kind of explains the prequels as to
sure.
what happened.
Yep.
There's this story-based thing that leads up to it. Basically, there's like this underwater facility and you have lost contact with them. You don't know what happened. There were like experiments going on down there. They were drilling. There was something, and you've lost contact. And you send your special team down in the the elevator. You get down there, and you're just investigating what is going on. And it's just a difficult co-op game with Cthulhu monsters popping up, right? And you're just going around this modular board, hex like betrayal system kind of board going around. Except it's built. It's not. You don't build as you play, but it's like this built modular board, and you're completing different objectives depending on what scenario you're playing. You can play through an order for a story, or just play them randomly, whatever you think is fun. And it just has some really cool systems. The way the players change with this like track that rotates is an interesting little system. And honestly, I want to play it more. It's at this slot on my list because I enjoyed it, but I don't think I fully understand it yet.
Right.
There's a lot going on there. We have so many expansions for it that we haven't touched, right?
Sure.
My brother basically went all in
Yeah.
on this thing. And yeah, so Deep Madness, guys, I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
easy
remember
that
it.
is to find.
Yeah, it's tricky.
But just a cool, I love that theme. And they did something too in this to where all the characters are like, that's clearly Ripley, right? Like you're
sure.
clearly playing as Ripley, but you're not.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
I think they actually have Isaac Clarke. I think his name is literally Isaac Clarke. But if not, then it's like you're playing as Isaac Clarke
You're
from
Blysic Jart.
yeah, right. And like he has the Dead Space armor on and stuff. Like all the characters are like, oh, you're clearly playing this character from
Sure.
this other IP kind of
Nice.
thing. And
I
I love when
enjoy
they do
that.
that. It's
Yeah.
so fun.
I like that. Yeah. for
But
sure.
yeah, that's it for Deep Madness.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my number 4 Cthulhu Wars. It is a fantastic game. It is one of my all-time favorite games.
Yep.
I love playing this game. I never turn down an opportunity to play it. I teach it all the time. I teach it at conventions. It is a Peterson Games game. The miniatures are amazing. Cthulhu Wars Duel is really good and really fun, and it's $30
A nice
bucks.
streamlined version of
It's so good. We did we did a live stream on our Facebook of us learning and playing this game.
Yeah.
Link in the description again. And it's I was so impressed at how well that game played at the end.
I need to play it with the other guys, or
Yeah.
even just hand it to them and say, "You guys play this."
Sure.
so we can do an official review. Spoiler alert, it's going to get a very good rating from me because I really like it, even though the components are downgraded. But it doesn't matter.
It's not all about the components.
Exactly.
Yes, they're nice.
The components fit perfectly on that
for what
board
it's
and
trying
for
to
what
do.
you're doing.
Right.
So well. And for that price.
And but the gameplay is so good. The asymmetrical factions are really well balanced. You can try all different kinds of strategies.
I hope they just give you more options for your factions.
That's what I'm saying. Well, it was so smart to launch with 2, right? Because
This or that.
this is balanced.
So
we have done this. Right?
So they're going to come out with pairs, and then you've got the maps
dice
you can
thrown.
interchange. So you could use this map or this map.
Oh, yeah, so you can do like Cthulhu Wars Duel 2, and it's just 2 different factions.
Right.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, like dice thhrone, right?
So it'll
Come out
probably
with
be
these
could be like
standalone.
Crawling Chaos and the Yellow Sign. Is the next 2 or something. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think that they're going to go that way. I think the Windwalkers are the next faction.
Are they?
But I don't know who they're paired with. But anyways,
Hopefully the King in Yellow. My favorite. I mean, I don't like the faction to play it. Like, I'm not very good with it.
Oh.
But it's just as far as like the stories and the
yeah.
overall.
Yeah. But so Cthulhu Wars is my number 4.
Anyways.
It's one of my all-time favorite games.
What'd Troy say?
Troy. Good call.
He's
What
like,
did
oh,
you say,
yeah,
Troy?
Troy's I really like. Lovecraft Letter from 2017. In Troy's words, a wonderful twist on the Love Letter games. I've actually won by releasing Cthulhu to devour the world in this one.
Nice.
So yeah, this is a really good twist on Love Letter. Love Letter's got a ton of iterations, but I would say that this is one of the better ones, in my opinion. I've got Lovecraft Letter. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the way it plays and sort of the different mechanics that it brings.
Yeah, this is actually surprising because this isn't on my list, although I looked at it, like he's saying, seriously, by far the best love letter I've ever played.
Batman Love Letter is pretty popular, but I actually like
Haven't
this
played
better
it.
than Batman Love Letter.
But this is one of the only Cthulhu games I own on this list. Right? Like, didn't make my list, but I own this one. It's a really good time.
Cool.
Number 3?
So, number 3. This one's not as popular. I think I've played it with Tim, but I don't think either one of you have seen it. It's called Fate of the Elder Gods.
Oh.
And you're playing as a cult, and you're basically trying to like summon your ancient one. But the thing I think is really neat about it is the cards that you get are constellations, and you have to play the certain constellations to go to certain places on the board in order to trigger certain effects and events.
Align.
And and plus the minis are like these cultists with like these pointy hoods.
Right.
And you don't always appreciate that. And but yeah, it's just a really neat kind of like worker placement, hand management, where you're trying to trigger your spells and summon your ancient one. Yeah, Fate of the Elder Gods.
Fate of the Elder Gods.
Never seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, per Tim's official thing on the Facebook Messenger, I'm going to start doing games that I want to play.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So, this third one, I'll just put Arkham Horror
Okay.
Yeah.
because it's a famous game.
Yep.
And I think I'd really like it, and I have not gotten a chance to play it yet.
We'll play it sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said you have 3rd edition?
I do have 3rd
Okay.
edition.
I think
I
that
guess
is
I should
a-
check it out. I
You should.
enjoy my 2nd edition quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it is long and fiddly.
Yeah. This one is shorter.
Still fiddly.
Not as fiddly.
Okay.
Not as fiddly.
I think this is
But
many people's like favorite Cthulhu.
Sure, yeah.
It's a great one. It's a classic.
general.
I mean,
It's
it goes
classic.
back to the 70s. This is games
and
been around.
I
for
feel
a
like
while.
it's one of those, like, kind of, you have to play it if you want to, like.
It's like a
get into
staple,
that
right?
kind of
That's
Yeah.
that's
staple.
kind of one like if I were to make a TV show or a movie or something, I'd want it to be most kind of based on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's the best feel of the whole like
Mhm.
time frame and everything that's going on.
Okay.
So, Dan, what you
What you got, Dan?
My number 3 is Evil High Priest.
Nice.
By Peterson Games, 2 to 5 players in 2018, and they've already talked about it. Yeah, I love the idea that you're the bad guys and the heroes are attacking you and like raiding you, kind of thing, right?
Heroes.
Yeah, I know. I knew that was coming.
It's all perspective.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming. Yeah, I just like it. Like we talked about earlier, like one of my favorite things is when you just have all these insane people like in your asylum, and the raiders are like kicking down your door, and they see these like, and they're like, let's go down the street. They don't have nearly as many insane people that we
Yeah,
have
we'll
to
go-
fight.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep.
I like a lot of what you're doing, the asymmetric power, the
Oh, yeah.
like I said, the upgraded
Yeah.
components.
Yeah.
You
are
get
awesome.
monsters to help protect your
Yeah, you get
sanctum.
little defenders.
I love the way you build the vault.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
because you have that this
And
your
the way it gets
sanctum that you're
destroyed,
like,
yeah.
you're like building these different rooms
And
that
it's
can,
not
you
how
can hide
Bob played
components
it.
in.
Where you just keep all of those or whatever, right?
Well, Bob was destroying our rooms left and right. It turns out that was a one-time use ability.
We all played that rule incorrectly. I'm sorry
We
that
did.
mine was stronger.
How dare
I'm
you.
sorry too.
Yeah.
No, it was great though. I still
it's a great game.
God,
But
You play
Evil
it
Eye
correctly
Priest,
now.
it will probably be talked about later.
Probably.
So good.
probably will be talked about later. So my number 3, I will. I'm gonna say Elder Sign, man. It is a dice.
Yep.
Yahtzee style. You're rolling dice. You're trying to get the symbols you need to complete the missions.
Yep.
This is a really tough co-op. It is a really tough co-op. You depending on the one you're playing, you've got the rooms that are out. You've got a timer. So as the clock goes around, as everybody takes turns, after so many turns, an event happens, and so things just get worse. More monsters spawn at things, and you're trying to get enough Elder Signs to seal something off before the great, and then you got to fight the great old one. It's so tough. The app is also great. The app is really good.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy this game. It's really hard, but I kind of love playing it. It's almost as hard as
Robinson Crusoe.
no Ghost
Oh, got
Rider?
it. Ghost stories.
Ghost Stories. Almost as hard as Ghost Stories, but it's kind of like Ghost Stories, right? Where you've got these monsters and they've got certain die faces you need to roll. But then sometimes there's events where every time you roll this die face, something bad happens to you. And sometimes that's a die face that you need to roll. Or it's like sometimes the rooms will trigger if you roll certain die faces. So it's really tough to go in and you can, and you've got things that can give you extra dice and you can mitigate your dice rolling. So there's a lot of like ways to handle the
You're
randomness.
not completely at the
Well,
mercy of the die.
I will say it wouldn't be Lovecraft if things didn't start bad and just get worse.
Oh yeah, they totally do. They totally do.
fair.
But
I've actually played this one, but it was so long ago.
Sure.
I don't remember anything about it. This was like one of Levi's first games
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
so-
I love
It's-
Elder Sign. It's
yeah.
really good.
It's probably one of my least favorite.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Troy's number 3. Number 3.
That'd be good, Troy.
3.
Okay, so he's going to get into this one. Number 3, 2013. Don't get me wrong. I love Arkham Horror, but I won't turn down a game of Eldritch Horror.
Mm-hmm.
There are some minor game mechanics in Arkham that really slow the game down. You need to seal X amount of gates. We've got them all closed, and Mythos after Mythos keeps referencing those same closed gates for like 20 minutes. Just an example. But Eldritch is Arkham Horror, but streamlined. Just a beautiful design game. Okay, granted, the latest version of Arkham is pretty cool. But yeah, Eldritch Horror, you're globe-trotting. You're not just in Arkham. And I haven't played
It's more
Eldritch Horror,
card based.
but yeah, I mean, so that's
I'm not as big. I knew I played that with a friend of mine who really liked that one, and it's okay.
Was it Levi?
I still prefer no. His name's
He's
Justin.
okay. He's obsessed with it.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
with Eldritch Horror.
Yeah,
Levi,
he actually asked me to pick that game up for him at a convention, and I did. It turned out it had like an insert and everything in there for him. And he's like, "This is amazing!" And I was like, "You lucky." I was like,
I love it when that happens.
yeah.
But yeah, so Eldritch Horror is Troy's number 3. That's from 2013.
And what was did you do your number 3?
Oh, I didn't. Did I do mine?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Elder
he
Sign.
did.
Elder Sign.
Oh, design.
That you don't like,
That's right.
I just forgot.
So easily forgettable.
right?
All right, so that brings me to number 2. I really enjoyed this game. I wish I would have gone a little bit further in than I did on the Kickstarter. Cthulhu Death May Die.
Oh,
Yeah, it's one of my favorite types of these because not only is it similar where you have like a modular board and a certain ancient one you're following out, but there's a scenario that you have also, and your character like levels up, right? So the crazier you get, the more abilities you start to
this
unlock.
is one that I kind of had some regret not backing.
Yeah. Do you hear what happened with Tom? He got season 2 on accident, and they told me just to keep it. And I was like, if you don't want it, I'll take it. But he wants to keep it.
Well,
but yeah.
sure.
But yeah.
Good for him.
I know, right?
Wow.
And so it's also the one that came with like the big, huge
Yeah.
Cthulhu.
That's what put me off initially.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's dumb.
Yeah, I haven't
But
actually played that mission yet. But
Sure.
I've got, such a stack of characters to choose from. They've all got, so many different abilities, whatnot. So you want to build your party to make sure you got like certain
Right.
aspects covered.
Right.
And
Good thing is I can get all those CMON Kickstarter exclusives.
Yeah,
now.
eventually, yeah.
Somewhere else
It's true.
without going to a convention. Sorry, guys. Boy, they suck.
You're only
Sorry.
going to get that on Kickstarter, right?
Huh?
So you're only going to get that on Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, only on Kickstarter.
Right.
Yeah.
Until later.
Only
Until later.
Yeah.
later.
Until later.
But yeah, no,
Cthulhu
I've
Death
only
May
heard
Die.
good things. I've never played it.
Yeah, there's a base game and there's like a season 1 and a season 2, but it's like because you can literally like mix and match things, right? So there's a bunch of boxes of the different like episodes, and then you pick what ancient one you want to fight.
Oh,
And so
okay,
it gives you different like monsters, and plus covers different like objectives to complete and everything. And it's tough. Some of them are really hard.
I love it.
It's a lot.
I love a hard
fun,
co-op,
though.
man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Good times. And there's some dice rolling in there. The dice rolling to me is always fun.
Sure. Number 2.
Number 2.
Jeff.
So I want to make sure I get this name right. But the tile flipping one is Betrayal, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Betrayal's my number 2.
Betrayal House on the Hill.
Okay.
Betrayal of the House on the Hill.
There's quite a few scenarios in it that are Lovecraftian.
That's
not the whole
definitely-
game.
Right.
There's quite a few.
Okay, but yeah. There's some.
Yeah,
I've
I give it
seen
to
it
you.
played and it looks fun. And
You never played Betrayal?
no.
Oh, we should play Betrayal
Yeah, we
sometime
should.
too.
I've never actually played Betrayal either.
You
I
haven't?
started the Legacy game, and we got one.
Oh, I would love to
game in.
play the
Me too.
Legacy.
And that's where it's at.
Started
I
the
would
Legacy. We got
love
one
to
game
play the
in and
Legacy
no one
game.
came
which
back.
was a great
Intro?
game. Yeah, like I played it. I'm like, oh my god, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And nobody else liked it?
Well, it was with Sarah
Uh-huh.
and Levi and Lindsay, and getting all those people together in one place
Sure.
is difficult.
And the
getting
problem with that intro too, I also did the first one. Already during the first one, you're putting stickers on the board and changing stuff, and now what do we do?
Yeah.
Like without the same group and everything, like those stickers are already there. We just ignore them while we play the first game again. Like
Well, it's
No, or
either
you
that or you
just-
just pick up on season 2.
Yeah,
right,
on game 2.
On game 2, and then you are now this person.
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Sounds like to play that you need a really dedicated group of people.
Because any legacy game.
Any
Any
legacy game
legacy
you're supposed
game.
to, but
yeah,
yes,
specifically.
I forget there was one that came out, or it's coming out, that you're supposed to be able to drop in and out
That's that Stellaris one. Yeah.
That's the
And
one.
what's cool about that? I won't get into it.
Yeah. Okay, so
watch our last previous show to
yeah.
see what's cool about it.
Betrayal of the House on the Hill. Great
Yeah.
game.
Guess
Yeah.
I'll mention something about Betrayal really quick. That's one that I actually have the recording on my Google Drive. I don't know if you ever saw that. I thought I tried to send it to you once, but maybe not. But
I think you've talked about this.
yeah, I've talked about it. We found a thing in there, not Lovecraftian, but that is literally just Saw. Like everyone falls asleep,
Oh, yeah.
and then they wake up with like things on their necks, and then there's like a tape saying like "Hello, explorers." There are keys hidden in the house, like
Yeah.
blah blah. And I was like so blown away with how thematic it was because
Now, was that like
Saw's
a
a really
fan-made?
good movie.
Was that?
no, it's in the book. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
in
one of the scenarios you
Yep,
can encounter.
it's one of the 100
Fantastic.
scenarios. But and so like I had my brother record and I like edited, I modulated his voice and edited it and I added the theme song in the background stuff and like so the next time everyone came over and played Betrayal, I totally hacked the game and purposely set it up so that we would get that scenario, certain room, certain thing, and I was like, "Oh, this scenario's happening." And so I literally like, hit play on the thing and it's like and it's like "Hello, explorers" and like all that stuff and it's so thematic.
No,
dude.
that's great.
I loved it.
I endorse creating an experience for a game.
Yeah.
I will kill Carrie Ewells to get this game the experience it deserves.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my little thing on Betrayal. My number 2 is what we were on is Eldritch Horror.
Eldritch Horror!
Hey Troy, how you doing? So 1 to 8 players by Fantasy Flight and 2013 it looks like I wrote. But yeah, everything he said. I've only played it like twice, but it was just a really cool co-op, and I have not played Arkham.
Yeah.
Speaking of actually earlier when you said Arkham and I said I think that's most people's favorite, I was actually thinking at that second Arkham Horror the card game I think is a lot of the general masses favorite Cthulhu game. It's a different game.
Okay.
But
Yeah, the
Anyway.
Arkham Horror LCG is really solid.
yeah. But anyway, Eldritch Horror, Troy already had a whole conversation about it. It's just really cool. The cards, the equipment system, the asymmetric power that you have, the globe trotting, and the just impending doom of this giant elder god up there. So yeah, fun game. If you like that kind of thing, check it out.
So I know I'm going to step on Bob's list, but everybody else has already kind of trampled upon it. But Evil High Priest
Yeah,
it's a good
is
game.
my number 2. Fantastic game. I'm sure we'll talk about it more later. But Peterson Games. I mean, seriously, they do a lot of Cthulhu games, and I know like, oh, that's their shtick, but they're good at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing wrong with having a shtick if you're good at it.
they're good at it. So Troy's number 2 is Cthulhu Wars.
Nice.
The only area control risk-like game I will play. Love the various Elder Gods and their minions in this beautiful game. It also helps that a good friend decided to skip a year of mortgage payments
Who was that?
and his child's college fund to get the super ultra exclusive Kickstarter package. I have to help him get his money's worth out of the game.
I didn't know that Troy thought of me so highly.
So Troy, obviously, like almost every time I see Troy, we play Cthulhu Wars.
Yeah.
Gosh, I love it. I love that game so much. I've had so many good, even the bad or the times where I played badly, I still usually have a good time or enjoy watching stuff
people
get
go at it.
crazy
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in other areas, and usually come away with some good stories.
Yeah. So usually when we go down to visit your sister and brother-in-law. We go to his law firm. He's got like the big conference table there, and we set everything up. We've got all the like the independent ones on the table. Like we really kind of go all out.
We do,
Yeah,
and we'll play like 8-player games and just go nuts.
Yep.
And Troy is really, really good at getting under Patrick's skin, and I love it. I love it.
Yep.
But yeah, so Cthulhu Wars.
Attack the Chochos.
Troy, if only we knew which friend that was. That got rid,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's brag about you ignoring your college fund for your kid.
Yeah.
Mortgage payments.
No, that's the whole
Listen.
plan. So when she goes to college, he's going to sell his Cthulhu Wars to help pay for the college.
Let's just hope my kids aren't
Aren't
smart enough to go to college. It's a gamble. You don't know.
You're the father, Tim. It's not.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's not
The
gonna
deck's already stacked against him.
In 18 years, he's gonna show this to his kids. It's like, guys, if you want to know why you're not going to college, click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Well,
Yeah.
Bob,
No regret.
what could
No regrets.
possibly be your number one?
Oh, let me look at my list. Oh, yeah. So for my number one, shocker, Evil High Priest.
Yeah.
I love it. Worker placement, cultist base. He has a ritual board where you're sending your cultists out to go do some crazy rituals. Worker placement board where you're sending people to go do normal types of actions. Buckets of blood. I mean, you're getting literal buckets of blood as a resource. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've started to work on it. I'm trying to find a nice wash that I can do on the books because like they're orange, which is really kind of a weird color to make the book.
Yeah.
But there's so many cool little lines and inscriptions
Yeah.
around there. Like I tried washing one, and it does make it pop a little bit, but I think the base orange really throws all the
Everything
other
else
colors off.
off.
So I'm trying to find a nice
I
scheme
love
for
that your worst
but
nitpick is like the
color of
color of
the
an
component.
upgraded component.
I know.
But
orange.
no, it was really hard parting with this
Yeah.
for you to have it, but like at least it's within the
group.
family, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, it is well loved.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's appreciated. It's like actually because I have my shelves upstairs where most of my games are at.
Right.
I bought a couple of shelves and put them downstairs by the table. It's on there.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great
Handy.
game.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Such a great game. And I got everything, and like I work on like storage solutions. I got it all in one box, and it fits real nice.
Sure.
And yeah.
Is that the only one on all 4 lists so far?
So far?
believe
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I think so.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a good game. So.
So this one, I believe you guys talked about this last week,
Oh.
Impossible.
but I obviously like Lovecraft stuff.
Mhm.
But the other literary thing I really love is Sherlock Holmes.
I was waiting for this.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Study.
Study in Emerald.
Yep.
I really want to play it.
Same. I want to play too.
Because I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, and that's why I hate the Guy Ritchie films.
Right.
I was gonna say this would definitely be Spencer's number one.
Yeah.
Right after everything he walked into.
I don't know.
But,
I think my number one you might change your tune in a minute.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But no, it's
you guys said that last week. I was like,
Study
oh
in
man, I
Emerald.
just really want to play this.
Me
game.
too. And this one's interesting because I don't know much about it, but it's like hidden traders.
Yes.
Mechanics.
That too,
yeah,
yeah.
so it's
too.
hidden
So,
team.
yeah, hidden teams. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting.
Kind of like Secret Hitler, where you're just trying to deduce who is on your team.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know, stuff.
Yeah.
And the enemy team all knows that they're
Wait.
on the same team.
I don't think they do.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
So
that's
Secret
what I'm
Hitler,
wondering.
you just don't know who Hitler is.
Yeah.
No.
No, you know who
It's-
Hitler is,
Hi-
don't you?
Hitler doesn't.
Hitler
know
doesn't
anyone.
know who
Yeah.
his
the
friends
team.
are.
Yeah. Okay.
I knew there was an aspect of that.
That's not
Yeah,
Lovecraft
Study in
either.
Emerald. We could play that. I've got it.
Sweet.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
it happen.
Martin Wallace.
My number one is I'm doing a bit of a faux pas here. I don't care. Call to the new, Dan. Call to the not even
Yeah.
out yet, Dan.
Call to the Deep.
Yeah, Call to the Deep is
I
my
almost
number
made my
one.
list.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Call to the Deep, 4 to 8 players by
That's your number
BA
one.
Games.
Nope.
Comes out
But that
this
should be on my
year.
list. Oh my god, I can't believe.
But
I
I had to. I don't care that it's not
Yeah.
out yet, guys. Everyone knows how
so
much
cool.
I love Bang the Dice game, and this is just so good. They take the great mechanics from Bang the Dice game and then add more and the
Yeah.
ritual thing and
cultists.
and cultists.
Cultists.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
saw that.
That's what cultists do.
That's right.
But yeah, so hidden trader like Bang to where there's like a main bad guy and he has well, not main bad guy. There's like a bad guy team, then there's a main good guy and he might have some help on him, and then there's like this rogue team, right? And you're using your abilities and you're doing these rituals and you're just trying to make sure your win condition is met, right? If you've played Bang the Dice game, which a lot of people have, it's very, very similar,
Yeah.
but just deeper mechanics
Really
going on.
Cult of the
I'm
Deeper.
excited. I've backed it. I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
Cult
I
of the
can't
Deep
wait.
looks good.
I
man.
believe my brother backed it.
Nice.
So yeah.
So you showed me a game that should be on my list. So I gotta.
Now, do your normal number one, and we'll honorable
Okay.
mention it because it was on my list until I remembered.
Yeah, but I gotta
Wrestlenomicon.
kick a game. That game has to be on my list because it's that good. But it can't punt my number one.
Okay.
My number one. You like Sherlock Holmes themed. games, right?
I just like Sherlock Holmes in general.
Sure. So are you familiar with? Now I can't even think of it. Consulting Detective.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a Cthulhu Mythos version of that called
interesting.
Mythos Tales,
I didn't know that.
where you crack open a book and you've got maps and you've got newspapers with headlines that give you clues, and then you are going to go through these clues and you're going to decide who to talk to. And so you're going to take so many actions and figure out, like, talk to, all these different people. Then you're going to go to basically the solution and they're going to ask you questions and you've got to be able to answer the questions. And then you go on to the next one. And sometimes things tie together.
Crossover.
And I haven't played through all of Mythos Tales.
Yeah.
But what little I've played,
super interesting.
it is fantastic.
It's almost
It
like
is-
Chronicles of Crime-esque.
It is immersive. Like the theme, right? You really feel like you're running,
Like you're an investigator.
you're
going
an
around
investigator,
doing things.
because as you go and you go to interrogate people, it's like go to page blah 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 and read this like paragraph 40.
Yeah,
you know.
because you said consulting, right?
Yeah.
So you go to you find 40 and then you read like the whole conversation. You know what I mean, back and forth. Oh, it's really good. It's really solid. It's well written. It's immersive. So why it was my number one was because it really. Like, it's the most immersed into the theme that you can get, right? As you're like literally running around Arkham trying to solve and figure out these.
That sounds very interesting
So
to
we-
me.
we
Because
might have to-
Bob talks about cultists. My favorite thing about Lovecraftian is the noir detective part of it.
This is
you know?
like,
and so that's I'm very,
all
very.
right, well, I'll bust
interested.
it out. I've got mine in shrink wrap.
Yeah.
It went out of print. I found it at a convention for
wow.
retail
Oh, wow.
and bought it. And I'm like, I'm gonna crack this bad boy open, but I wanted the right time, so maybe I have the right group for that.
Yeah.
So
You do.
Troy, yeah.
so Troy's number one, or should I do my? Let me do mine real quick before we do.
You just said your number one.
No, Troy's number one. I'm gonna punt Elder Sign off of my list and talk about the one I missed
Okay.
because it needs to be on my list. Because we'll give Troy last word. I don't want to
Okay.
bury Troy's
Sure.
list.
Okay.
So Bob pointed out one that
It was on my list until I remembered Wrestlenomicon. Then I had to bump everything back. Put that on there.
criminally underrated game, Australia,
Yeah.
by Martin Wallace.
So good.
Oh, I love that game.
I love the use the time mechanic and like whoever.
Yeah, so when you take an act, you could take all these actions, but they take a certain amount of time, and then you move up the time. So you move up the time track, and as you move up the time track, if you pass somebody else, now it's their turn.
Right.
Like whoever's the last person on the time track.
Yeah.
So you might take one really big action, and it does you a lot of stuff, but now you're not gonna have a turn.
Now you got to
for
wait
a
4
while.
turns for everybody to catch up to you.
Yeah, and there's
Super cool mechanic.
There's a really
Yeah.
and then between the resource management, you know what I mean, and then
Yep.
and the combat mechanic.
Kind of like and you're on like a Australia, right?
Yeah.
And you land on the outsides and you're working your way in. You're building tracks. You're trying to reach the resources. There's all these face down tiles working your way, and then they flip up,
Gosh.
and you're like, oh, that's a bad boy. And then
Yeah.
you got to deal with them. There's temples that will just keep spitting out more and more bad guys. It's
And
really cool.
I don't know if you were with me, but I had a
Martin
chance to play
I
it.
almost said Martin Lawrence again.
I had a chance to play this at my sister's house,
Okay.
because they had a pre-production copy.
Oh, nice.
And I got to play it early,
Mm-hmm.
and was like, I'm backing this on Kickstarter, like the second it comes up, and did. But okay, so Troy. The reason we are doing this list today, Troy's number one has been mentioned.
Yep.
Did you see it already?
I saw, yeah.
Oh, okay. Cthulhu, Death May Die, from 2019. By far the best dungeon crawl game out there. The scenarios are humorous and fun. Dice rolling gives it that element of chance. But wow, the list of characters to play and the huge range of abilities to pit up against multiple cultist, minions, and elder gods.
Yep.
Again, I've never played. I've only heard great things.
You haven't played that with you yet?
No, I've never played Cthulhu,
All right,
Death May Die.
we'll get you to it.
But yeah, man. And then so Troy's honorary mention. Madness at Midnight, 2017. In this game, you control a cultist group trying to bring your elder god to this realm. Madness is the key.
I've got that one.
The more insane your group gets, stronger they become. But the more insane your group gets, the harder it is to roll what you need. I love the twist. I
Yep.
believe that's a Richard Launius game.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, so I have not played that either.
Good call, Troy.
But
Awesome.
Troy,
I like talking like H.P. Lovecraft.
right. Thank you for your list. You're going to be missed. Um,
Hopefully you can make it back for some Geekways.
Right, or any other kind of
JuliaCons.
JuliaCons, whatever.
Yep.
I'm trying to get these fools in a situation where they can meet you because everybody should know Troy.
Yeah.
He's a good dude to know.
Sure.
So before we end it really quick, just hey, Katie, Jason, wake up.
Yeah.
We're done now.
We're done.
At least one of these games had a track in it, probably.
Yeah, Australia had train
Australia's
tracks.
great track, Jason. You would love this track. There's no minis, right? No minis, and that track kind of pushes you around.
And
because
it's not like a
eventually you
dark,
get past,
boring board either, right? Like it's like all tan and
yeah, it's a
deserty.
very
Oh, yeah, it's
tan,
very-
bland board. Yeah, and then like as you move past, there's one of the bits on the time track is the monsters, and so once you move past that, then the monsters start acting too.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
so it slaps
And
you
they
around a
push
little
you
bit.
around, yeah, slap you around track.
Yeah.
You like it
But
when slap around.
what did we miss, guys? There's
Well,
there's a lot out there.
There's still-
It's,
yeah.
There's so many
As many
out
as were
there.
mentioned, there's
it's
still a
public
lot out
domain.
there.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about it. You don't got to pay to get that IP.
And I'm a sucker for a good one. So if you guys know of a good one we didn't mention, man, comment.
Yeah, let us know.
Find us on Facebook. Let us know.
We'll check it
because-
out. We'll find
yeah,
it and check it out.
I would love to look at it. If you guys got any questions about any of the amazing Peterson games, Lovecraft ones we talked about,
Yeah.
hit me up.
Yeah.
I'm your guy. I work with them at Gen Con all the time, and just am a big fan. I'm a fan. I don't care.
Humble brag.
Next week will be our top 2 Sherlock Holmes games.
And be ready for some crossover.
You know, I know a guy that made a Sherlock Holmes role-playing game.
Yeah,
too.
nice.
I could get you. I could really get you a copy.
And don't forget to check out our friends over at the Board Game Mechanics.
They're pretty okay.
pretty okay.
Pretty okay.
They're pretty okay.
They
They do
slept through
not.
this.
They do not like Lovecraftian.
They don't
themed
like
games.
they don't like Lovecraft, they don't like space.
Right.
So
Right. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna
We had at least
one's
2
perfect.
Martin Wallace games mentioned though. So
Yeah.
Study in Emerald and Australia.
Mhm.
We're all right.
Check out Miniatures Rundown.
Yep.
Miniatures rundown. Yeah. In our games today were chock full of miniatures.
Yeah.
A bunch of them were.
yeah.
Anyways, Cthulhu Wars is all just plastic.
Yep.
Yep.
Don't forget to check us out on Facebook if you want to join us for any of the stuff we do that's not part of the show, right? Like other special things we play on Tabletop Simulator, Tabletopia, or Discord Battle, Blood on the Clock Tower, anything like that. You know?
Yep,
Any of that bonus stuff.
And coming up soon, I got to talk to these guys to figure out how exactly we're going to do it. But I want to give away a copy of Edge of Darkness, Kickstarter exclusive from AEG, right? But I don't believe they've made any deals where you can get that at an online
not
retailer.
yet.
Yeah.
So if you would like to get a free copy of that,
It's a lot of games.
Stay tuned. The box is massive.
Ginormous.
Exactly.
It's massive.
Subscribe, like, and ring the bell. That will let you know as soon as Tim's ready to part ways with such a gift.
Right. Well, I've got 2.
Well, you didn't have to say that.
You could have left that right
I
out.
don't want everybody to think I'm
Sure.
that nice.
Right, or that he doesn't care for the
We-
game. He's just
we
getting
don't
rid of it,
think that.
'cause it is
Yeah,
a good
no,
game.
yeah. Nope, I've got it. And
It's a little
I wanna
long,
keep
but
it.
it's card crafting and it's fun.
But it's a good opportunity to get a really big game that you might not have normally
about, yeah.
try to get. Or
Yeah.
and you can't just go down the street and buy it at your
Yeah.
FLGS.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been Dan.
And I'm Jeff.
Jeff. We'll see you next time.
Tim.
Bub.
Bib.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.